close your eyes for a moment and imagine a life where nothing is working against you, where every delay is a hidden alignment, every rejection is quiet protection, and every uncertainty is simply a doorway waiting for your courage to walk through it. What if, just for today, you decided to live as though everything, every single detail, is already arranging itself perfectly in your favor? Feel that shift, that subtle release in your chest, because the moment you act as if everything always works out, something inside you begins to cooperate with life instead of resisting it. Now breathe slowly and let yourself settle into this awareness. There is a quiet power in choosing your inner state before the outer world gives you proof. Most people wait. They wait for evidence before they believe. They wait for success before they feel confident. They wait for peace before they allow themselves to relax. But there is another way to live, a way that reverses this pattern completely. Instead of reacting to life, you begin to direct it from within. When you act as if everything always works out, you are not pretending in a superficial way. You are aligning yourself with a deeper truth, that life is constantly moving, constantly adjusting, constantly responding to your expectations. The mind, when filled with fear, sees obstacles, but the same mind, when grounded in trust, begins to notice pathways where none seemed to exist before. Think about how your body feels when you assume things will go wrong. There is tension, hesitation, a subtle tightening in your breath. Your decisions become smaller, safer, restricted. You pull back, you overthink, you second guess. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin to create the very outcomes you fear. Not because life is against you, but because your energy has withdrawn from possibility. Now shift. Imagine waking up each day with the quiet certainty that things are working out, even if you cannot yet see how. Notice how your breath deepens, your shoulders relax, your thoughts become clearer, less cluttered. You begin to move differently, more decisively, more openly. Opportunities that once felt intimidating now feel approachable. Conversations become easier. Choices become lighter. This is not coincidence. This is the natural response of a mind that is no longer trapped in resistance. There is a rhythm to life, and when you trust it, you begin to move with it rather than against it. Acting as if everything always works out does not mean ignoring challenges or denying reality. It means choosing your interpretation of reality in a way that empowers you. It means understanding that what you focus on expands, and what you assume becomes the lens through which you experience everything. If you assume things will fall apart, your mind searches for evidence. If you assume things will come together, your mind begins to notice patterns, connections, solutions. The external world may not change immediately, but your relationship with it transforms instantly. And that changes everything. Let yourself sit with this idea. What if nothing in your life is random? What if every delay is redirecting you? What if every closed door is quietly guiding you toward a better one? When you begin to act from this belief, something remarkable happens. You stop chasing control, and instead, you step into trust. And in that trust, your energy becomes steady, focused, and resilient. There is a calm confidence that grows within you when you live this way. It is not loud or forceful. It is quiet, grounded, unwavering. It does not need validation because it is not dependent on circumstances. It comes from within, from a deep understanding that you are supported, even when things are unclear. Picture yourself walking through your day with this mindset. When something unexpected happens, instead of reacting with frustration, you pause. You remind yourself, this too is working out. Maybe not in the way you planned, but in a way that serves you. That single shift changes your entire response. You become more patient, more open, more adaptable, and in that openness, solutions begin to reveal themselves. You begin to notice that what once felt like setbacks often lead to better outcomes. A missed opportunity opens the door to something more aligned. A difficult conversation brings clarity and growth. A moment of uncertainty leads to a new direction you would never have considered otherwise. Life is not always comfortable, but it is always moving. And when you trust that movement, you stop resisting the very process that is shaping you into who you are meant to become. There is also a deeper layer to this practice. Acting as if everything always works out requires you to release the need for immediate answers. It invites you to become comfortable with not knowing while still choosing to believe in a positive outcome. This is where true inner strength is developed, not in certainty but in trust. You begin to realize that you do not need to have everything figured out to move forward. You only need to take the next step with confidence, knowing that the path will continue to reveal itself. Feel that, the lightness of not needing to control every detail, the freedom of allowing life to unfold, while still showing up fully with intention and belief. As you continue to sit with this awareness, notice how your inner dialogue begins to change. Instead of asking, "What if this goes wrong?" you begin to ask, "What if this works out better than I expected?" Instead of assuming failure, you begin to anticipate success. And this anticipation creates a shift in your energy that influences everything you do. Your actions become more aligned, your decisions become clearer, your presence becomes stronger, and gradually, the external world begins to reflect this internal shift. People respond differently to you. Opportunities appear in unexpected ways. Situations that once felt difficult begin to resolve more easily. Not because life has suddenly become perfect, but because you have changed the way you engage with it. This is the quiet power of acting as if everything always works out. It is not about forcing outcomes or denying reality. It is about choosing a perspective that supports your growth, your peace, and your progress. There will still be moments of doubt. There will still be times when things feel uncertain. But even in those moments, you have a choice. You can return to fear, or you can return to trust. And each time you choose trust, you strengthen this way of being. It becomes easier, more natural, more integrated into who you are. Imagine what your life could look like if this became your default state. If, instead of reacting with worry, you responded with calm assurance. If, instead of expecting obstacles, you anticipated solutions. If, instead of holding back, you moved forward with quiet confidence. This is not a distant possibility. It is a practice, a daily choice that gradually transforms the way you experience everything. So as you continue your day, carry this awareness with you. Move gently but intentionally. Speak to yourself with encouragement rather than doubt. Trust the process even when you cannot see the full picture. And remember, when you act as if everything always works out, you are not just changing your thoughts. You are changing your entire relationship with life itself. And as you continue to sit in this awareness, allow your breath to guide you deeper into a space of quiet trust. Notice how each inhale brings a sense of expansion, and each exhale carries away the subtle weight of doubt. You are not forcing anything. You are not chasing outcomes. You are simply choosing, moment by moment, to align with the feeling that everything is unfolding in your favor. There is a gentle intelligence in life that often goes unnoticed when the mind is busy trying to control every detail. But when you soften, when you allow yourself to believe that things are working out, even without visible proof, you begin to sense this intelligence. It shows up in small ways at first: a thought that arrives at the right time, a chance encounter, a sudden clarity about a decision you were struggling with. These are not accidents. They are the natural flow of a life that is no longer obstructed by constant resistance. Consider how often the mind tries to predict the future based on past experiences. It replays old patterns, old disappointments, and projects them forward as if nothing new can emerge. But the truth is, each moment is fresh, untouched by what came before. When you act as if everything always works out, you free yourself from the limitations of the past. You give yourself permission to experience life as it is now, not as it was. Feel into that freedom, the release of old expectations, the quiet excitement of possibility. You may notice that your awareness becomes sharper. You begin to observe your thoughts instead of being carried away by them. When a fearful idea arises, you recognize it, but you do not have to follow it. You gently return to the knowing that things are working out. This is not denial, it is discipline. A quiet, steady discipline of choosing thoughts that support your well-being. And over time, this discipline becomes effortless. Your mind begins to cooperate with you. It no longer jumps immediately to worst-case scenarios. Instead, it starts to offer possibilities, solutions, creative insights. You become less reactive and more responsive. You pause before speaking, before deciding, before assuming. In that pause, there is space, and in that space, there is power. Now imagine carrying this state into situations that once felt overwhelming. A conversation that used to trigger anxiety now feels manageable. A challenge that once seemed impossible now appears as something you can navigate step by step. You are not rushing. You are not forcing. You are simply moving forward with the quiet confidence that the outcome will serve you. There is a softness in this way of living, but it is not weakness. It is strength without tension. It is resilience without struggle. It is the ability to remain steady, even when circumstances are shifting around you. And as you embody this state more fully, you begin to notice a deeper connection with yourself. You trust your instincts more. You listen to your inner voice. You become less dependent on external validation and more anchored in your own sense of knowing. This inner alignment changes the way you interact with the world. You no longer seek approval in the same way. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself constantly. Instead, you move with authenticity. guided by a quiet assurance that you are on the right path, even if it does not look like anyone else's. There is also a sense of patience that develops within you. You understand that not everything needs to happen immediately. You become comfortable with timing, with the natural unfolding of events. You no longer rush the process because you trust that what is meant for you will arrive at the right moment. This patience is not passive. It is active trust. It is the willingness to continue showing up, to continue taking steps, while allowing life to meet you halfway. And in this meeting, something beautiful occurs. You begin to experience moments of flow, times when everything seems to align effortlessly. Conversations happen at the right time. Ideas come naturally. Actions feel smooth and intuitive. These moments are not rare. They become more frequent as you remain aligned with the belief that things are working out. Even when challenges arise, and they will, you approach them differently. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, you see them as part of the process. You ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How is this guiding me? And in asking these questions, you shift from resistance to curiosity. Curiosity opens doors that fear keeps closed. There is also a deep sense of gratitude that begins to grow within you, not just for the obvious blessings, but for the subtle ones, the lessons, the redirections, the moments of clarity that come from unexpected places. You begin to appreciate the journey, not just the destination, and this appreciation enhances your experience of life. It adds richness, depth, meaning. It reminds you that even the challenging moments have value, that they are shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you for what lies ahead. As you continue to breathe and settle into this awareness, feel the quiet certainty that you are supported. Not in a dramatic or overwhelming way, but in a steady, consistent presence that is always there, even when you forget to notice it. This support does not remove challenges, but it gives you the strength to move through them. It does not guarantee a specific outcome, but it ensures that whatever happens will contribute to your growth and evolution. And when you truly understand this, fear begins to lose its hold on you. You no longer need everything to be perfect in order to feel at peace. You no longer depend on specific results to feel secure. Your peace comes from within, from the knowing that you can handle whatever arises, and that everything is ultimately working in your favor. Let this knowing settle deeply into your being. Allows it to guide your thoughts, your actions, your decisions. Return to it whenever doubt appears. And as you continue to live from this place, you may find that life begins to surprise you, not with chaos, but with alignment, not with constant struggle, but with moments of ease and clarity that remind you that you are not alone in this journey. You are part of something larger, something that is always moving, always evolving, always responding. And when you align with this movement, when you trust it, when you act as if everything always works out, you become a participant in that flow, rather than a witness to uncertainty. So remain here for a moment longer, breathing, allowing, trusting. Feel the calm confidence within you. Feel the quiet strength that does not need to prove itself. Feel the openness to whatever comes next. And carry this state with you, not as an idea, but as a way of being, a gentle, steady knowing that no matter what unfolds, it is leading you exactly where you need to be.